Hey, true seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Earlier today, I put out a video on the hit TV show The 100. I talked about the main character, Thelonious Jaha, and how in season 3 he plays a character that is very much like Jesus Christ. If you missed the video I put out earlier today, I'll link it in the description. I talk about how this TV show is a retelling of the creation of the United States of America, Christianity, the genocide of the natives, and more. There was something crucial I missed in this video, which we're going to cover this time around, and it's thanks to this comment left by Dex Alec. Dex Alec wrote, LOL, you're Bible bashing. Please tell me what wars were started because of Christians. So let's answer that question. Christianity has been central in so many wars, it's a very long list. Surely you've heard of the Crusades, and I meant to talk about the Crusades earlier. We'll talk about them in this video. But Christianity has been front and central in so many wars. World War I, U.S. history forgotten by most people because it's not taught. The United States population at the beginning of World War I supported Germany, and they were not in the war. Of course, half the nation, their heritage traces back to Germany, so a lot of German support. The way the government got the U.S. people to join the war on behalf of the United Kingdom and its allies fighting against Germany was by using its papers and writing a million times over that Kaiser Wilhelm, the leader of Germany, was the Antichrist. That got the Christian population in the U.S. interested in joining the war and fighting against Germany, which had popular support in the U.S. before the media began reporting that Kaiser Wilhelm was the Antichrist. After that, you had many men volunteering to go fight for the war. World War I connected to Christianity. World War II connected to Christianity. You had a Christian leader in Hitler saying, it's time to get rid of our sworn enemy, these Zionist Jews. In the end of the Christian Bible, it does say the false Jews will rule in the end times. So, any Christian who follows the word should have understood where Hitler was coming from. But still, it was a Christian standpoint. In the history of this nation, the U.S., the genocide of the natives was justified with the Bible. They were said to be godless heathens because they did not have Bibles. My girlfriend, she's from Burma. Burma has the longest ongoing civil war. It's Christianity versus Islam versus Hinduism. All different religions fighting amongst each other in Burma, as they do in other parts of the world, as has gone on for thousands of years on this earth. So many wars in the name of religion. In modern times, so many in the name of Christianity. So to say I'm Bible bashing because I'm saying that Christianity is connected to war, no, that's not Bible bashing, that's stating the facts. And just look at the comment. I don't know how old this person is, but LOL, you're Bible bashing. So they're laughing at the truth and then accusing me of doing something I'm not. Stating facts isn't bashing. Stating facts is stating facts. The numbers say all wars started because of prophets. Well, war is about controlling people, it's about money, it's about power, and so is religion. And notice, religion has exemptions with governments. Religions don't pay taxes, but religions collect money. The Vatican, one of the richest things in the entire world, if not the richest. Then he writes, I was an atheist. I found Jesus and it seriously changes everything. You're right though, some people just don't understand it and make foolery from it. I called him the lukewarm Christians. About 90% are lukewarm. So, you could just as well say he found spirituality. And he went to Jesus because that's what had been conditioned in his mind his whole life, from birth until the time he probably found Jesus, as he says. It's just like how in all cultures, when people become religious, they typically take on the dominant religion within their culture. Nothing new about this person. An idea is put in your mind. In time, that idea can become real. So many people say to me, oh, Zach, I know Jesus is real because my prayer was answered, or because this evil thing was happening to me and I called on Jesus and it stopped. I get lots of comments like that every single day. And I just attribute all those answers to the same thing. Well, these people are spiritual. They're probably good in nature. God probably did answer their prayer in that moment. I'm not saying God doesn't answer prayers, but it's clear that God doesn't answer all prayers. And do you think God cares if you're praying to Jesus or Zeus or whatever you're praying to? As long as you're good in heart, I doubt God cares. God's almighty, all powerful. God would understand that a person might be slightly deceived into having an impure spirituality because that's what was taught to them in their culture. You know what I mean? How many people in their own religion think that their religion's right because their prayer was answered? Anyone who thinks more deeply about things will automatically see through all of the fallacies and falsehoods of religion. So anyway, real quick, the video I put out earlier today, I was talking about the 100 again. This main character, very Jesus-like. In the 3rd season, he has a narrative very much like Jesus. He brings a new religion to these people. It spreads rapidly, and it goes from something positive and inspirational to something that wants to kill everyone who's not a part of it. And next thing you know, people are being killed and crucified. This episode that we're looking at right here is Season 4, Episode 2. It just debuted this February 8th, 2017. This man who plays something like Jesus, before he becomes this Jesus-like character, he was like a king on a spaceship. That's in the beginning of the show. By Season 3, he's this Jesus-like character out in the wilderness searching for salvation. So he gets questioned in Season 4 by one of the younger people who used to live under his rule on the spaceship. She says, and how many people died from Sector 5? That's where he ruled, Sector 5, which he built. 5 is a word with gematria of 42. And she refers to his killing as a culling, which means decreasing population. Culling has gematria of 33, number of sacrifice, Jesus on the cross at 33. Then he responds right here with the number 42. And in all of the episodes of this show, first time the number 42 is used. Season 4, Episode 2. In his path of killing for righteousness and ruling over the masses, the number was 42. Very important number to Christianity. Christianity's holy wars are known as the Crusades, which equals 42. He was killing, for power, for control, for having his way, his system, his beliefs. He killed 42 people. Let's just stop right there and let's talk about 42 in terms of war in this world and this nation's history. The Crusades equal 42. The Bible used as the justification, just as the Bible was used for slavery, a form of warfare, violence, killing, spiritual torment. The Crusades, slavery, both 42 intertwined. Both have been justified with Bibles, the Christian religion. Look at the number 42 in regards to war. War is 42. World War is 42. The U.S. became involved in World War I on April 2nd, 4/2, 1917, a date with 42 numerology. War 42, World War 42, Japan equals 42. Who's blamed for getting us into World War II? New Testament is 42. The New Testament begins with the 42 generations that lead up to Jesus. The dialogue here after he says 42 is, would you like to know their names? The New Testament, which equals 42, begins with 42 straight names that are the generations leading up to Jesus. Freemason 42, like New Testament, like history, like knowledge. Three-letter words that all connect to 42 that are all related to military: UFO, sub, gun. 2 other things related to the military. Because of military technology, we have computers and internet, 42. Even controlled opposition within the truth community, InfoWars, 42. led by Alex Jones. Alex is 42. Alex Jones is 42. Alex Jones is reportedly born on the 42nd day of the year, February 11th. 31 days in January, 11 in February. In the year 74, Masonic 74, Freemason 42. Alex Jones just turned 43. He's the oldest looking 43-year-old I've ever seen. But Alex Jones, 33, 42. The Freemason symbol, the compass and square, the big G represents 42 and 33. Think about what Alex Jones is. He's a Christian. He's disinformation. He takes people who are looking for truth and sets them astray, constantly promoting false fear, division, false heroes such as Donald Trump, the Orange Oompa Loompa. Religion, false heroes, false beliefs being steered astray. The parallels are no coincidence. All of this 42 is not coincidence. And there's even more. So the Crusades waged on for 200 years in the history books. And before then and since then, there's been wars in the name of religion and Christianity. Here's some more about the Crusades. The Crusades also have gematria of 174, like New World Order, like number of the beast, what is taught to be calculated in the final book of the Bible, Revelation, which concludes the New Testament. The Crusades also has gematria of 66, like number of the beast. Look at the gematria of New Testament. New Testament has gematria of 42 and 66. The New Testament concludes the Bible, the 66th book. The New Testament begins with the 42 generations leading up to Jesus. Interesting that the word math has similar gematria, 42 and 66 as well. 42, the magic number. The first printed Bibles, 42-line Bibles. The Bible's full of numbers, gematria, mathematical encoding. So let's come back here for a moment. Want to retouch on some things that I mentioned this morning. I learned even more since posting this. I was saying there was this very Christian representation in Season 4, Episode 2, with this dialogue, the use of the number 42 in terms of how many people were killed to get their way. This was the 47th episode of the show. 13 episodes, Season 1, 16 and 2 and 3, and this was the second episode of Season 4, making it the 47th episode. Christian equals 47. This episode debuted February 8th, 2017, a date with 47 numerology. Season 2, the major storyline was something called the 47 in Season 2 of the 100. So 47 was already a present number in the show. The Wikipedia page for this show says that this character is 47 years old. 47. So get this. His full name is Thelonious Jaha, which has gematria of 59. 59 and 42 are the numbers stamped on black people throughout history. 59, 42, again and again. Put out 3 videos today talking about this all in separate topics, and in the last 3 years I have hundreds of videos, hundreds of blog posts on this topic. Thelonious Jaha has the gematria of 59. So does Jesus Christ in the septenary decoding format. For anyone who knows Marty Leeds 33, a channel I don't recommend, but like all shills, he puts out some good information. He maintains that this is one of the most important ciphers in regards to the Holy Bible, septenary. And he keeps most of his work focused on the Holy Bible. It's very interesting that Jesus Christ equals 59 in this format. Jesus Christ from Jewish lineage. The Jews in the Bible are dark-skinned. Many people say if Jesus was real, he was black. Thelonious Jaha, who plays this Christian-like, Jesus-like character that ends up bringing a religion that results in war, bloodshed, crucifixion, matching gematria with Jesus Christ, which is 59, number stamped on black people. This is it. Season 4, Episode 2, Heavy Lies the Crown. I wonder what that... Let's just check. Let's just see what Heavy Lies the Crown equals. See if we find something new here. Heavy Lies the Crown. I could speculate, but we'll let it pass. Season 4, Episode 2. This main character, Jaha, that's what he's commonly called. His full name, Thelonious Jaha. Jaha also has this parallel with Jesus. This episode, it came in February, which is Black History Month. February ends on the 28th day, the 59th day of the year. Why is there this awkward month? Why Black History Month? Why are 42 and 59 stamped on black people, and February is the month that ends on the 59th day of the year? The only month that has a gematria of 42, you know? So again, 42, very special number, relevant to war, relevant to Freemasonry, very relevant to the history of this nation. Again, when you write out 42, it sums to 74, another special number in the Bible, Jesus 74, Messiah, cross, gospel, Masonic, Jewish, occult. With regards to killing in the name of Jesus, killing in the ordinal method, the same thing, 74. This show is called The 100. When you write out 100, it sums to 74. Going back to the ancient Egyptians, there's something called the 42 Principles of Ma'at. The first is, I have not committed sin. And think about Jesus dying for your sins, sin 42, like New Testament, where the story of Jesus is. What's very interesting is this show, The 100, it will have its Season 4, Episode 7 on March 22nd, 2017. March 22nd is the anniversary date of the publishing of the first Bibles in 1457. That's also a date with 42 gematria, or 42 numerology. The first printed Bibles were called 42-line Bibles. And again, this show is about Christianity, the creation of the U.S., what's going on in this world. And it's all told by the same numbers. So a little more World War knowledge. Beginning of World War II, our involvement, it was Pearl Harbor. Supposedly the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, and we had to retaliate. That happened December 7th, 1941. What's interesting about this nation, which has always been at war, the first state was established December 7th, 1787. Delaware. That was a date with 33 numerology. Delaware equals 33. Also, in World War I, we declared war against Austria-Hungary on December 7th. You know? What's up with December 7th, really? This year, this past year, 2016, was the 75-year anniversary of Pearl Harbor. It happened in 41. USA equals 41. 41's the 13th prime. 13 colonies, 13 stripes. In the 100, it's all about 13 clans. Anyway, the 75-year anniversary just passing is interesting. You know, World War II ended in 45. Here we are with the 45th president. We just saw the Cubs in the World Series for the first time since 45. Anyway, 75-year anniversary of Pearl Harbor passed. Order out of chaos equals 75, like New World Order. The New World Order, a Masonic World Order. We talked about the Crusades, the New World Order, the number of the beast. Talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But anyway, 75-year anniversary is significant. Look at the gematria of Pearl Harbor in light of World War, in light of Holocaust as well. 114, 114. If you take the master number out of that, 11, and multiply it times 4, you get 44. The number for military, kill. When you write out 44, it sums to 144, like Pearl Harbor Day. Interrelated numbers. Numbers that show up around tragedy. The coordinates of Pearl Harbor, very interesting as well. 21st parallel north, 157th meridian west, United States 157. Teddy Roosevelt once said that Hawaii, just so you know, out of the 50 states, only 3 summed to 33 in reduction. That is the first state, Delaware, the 50th and final state, Hawaii, and the 6th state, Massachusetts. If you do reverse reduction, there's one more that sums to 33, that's New York. But anyway, Hawaii, the 50th and final state, not far from Japan. Teddy Roosevelt said when he was president that Hawaii needed to be secured for the United States for the benefit of the white race. Those were his words as president. You know, they leave all that stuff out of your history book because it's all about shaping your mind. You know, all you're taught about is World War II and evil Hitler, and everything else is left out. You know, you're not meant to think about how your country began out of a genocide of the native people, or how ridiculous it is to tell you that Christopher Columbus discovered a land where people already lived. You know, you're just given this whole bogus history, all the crucial stuff left out. You know, if you think about your history, it's just obvious how nonsense it is. And if you read about what was actually said and done, you know, a lot of doors will open up. But anyway, Hawaii on the 21st parallel, the 157th meridian, when you write out 21, it sums to 42. It was bombed by Japan. United States 157. This event got the U.S. in the World War. You know, they used an event on an island way away from the mainland to get everybody stirred up in the mainland to go over to war. When you really think about it, it's just so transparent, right? Japan, 42. Honda with the same method, 42. Toyota with the same method, 96. Freemasons, 42, the small way, 96, the big way. You take the numbers that divide into 42, they add to 96. Math, 42. Here was the date, December 7th, 1917, World War I. U.S. declared war against Austria-Hungary. We were already at war with Germany. It was April 2nd, 1917. Woodrow Wilson asked for declaration of war against Germany. You know? War is money. Economics, 42. Another good one to go with World War. So with regards to the Freemasons, again, more proof that it's all Freemasonry running the show. And let's talk about how Freemasonry is also very Jewish, which is why out of the world wars came the Zionist state of Israel. The Zionist state of Israel was recognized as a nation on the 333rd day of the year in 1947. 47, special number. The Freemason compass is at an angle of 47 degrees over the big G, where the square is at an angle of 90 degrees. Right angle, 90 degrees. Compass at 47 degrees. So 137 degrees in measurements. We'll get to the 137 in the G. Well, we'll also get to the 90, now that I think about it. But first, the 47. The Freemasons have something called Euclid's 47th problem. We were just talking about how 47 is so significant. This was the 47th episode on a date with 47 numerology, with Thelonious Jaha, reportedly 47 in the show, you know, making this Christian statement that would have, you know, gone over probably everyone's head except for the people who follow my work and the people who are in the know about this knowledge. But look at this. 47. The Freemasons have Euclid's 47th problem, which has a lot to do with the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This is about how to establish foundation for a structure. The Freemasons are builders. The word building equals 42. The word architect equals 42. You know, number of Freemasonry. With regards to 47 and how to establish a foundation for a structure, foundations 47, framework 47, authority 47, president 47. That's all in reduction gematria. Government and White House are 47 in reverse reduction. Christian is 47. In the same method, these are 47, reduction. These are all using the alphabetic order. Obey, judge, gavel, time, they're all 47 using the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z is 26. Just in case you want to do this yourself, come to Gematria. I have it linked down in the description. Foundation 47. If you click the method, over here there's a cipher, and you can learn very quickly what the letters represent. A, J, S, all 1. Show you just an opposite one. Government is 47 in reverse reduction. You can get a cipher here. A little bit different. You know. Obey. And ordinal, using the alphabetic order. So I'll link this website. Makes figuring out these methods a lot easier. Appreciate that when I did this research, I didn't have the calculators to help me. I had to do everything by hand when I started, you know. Took a lot of time when I first began, but people have come along and helped build things such as the Gematria website. You know, somebody found my work a year ago. You know, 6-9 months later, they get interested in contributing. Now we have this awesome website that's furthered the cause by light years. So 4 and 7, they're not arbitrary numbers either. 7 is the 4th prime number. 7 represents complete, 4 represents foundation. In numerology, complete foundation. I mean, it makes sense why you would use these numbers, right? G is also the 7th letter of the alphabet. The Freemasons have the big G in the middle of their compass and square with the 47 degrees over it. Words such as English, Gematria, Masonic, Jewish, occult, holiday, Independence Day, all sum to 74. Think about it, 7/4 in the U.S. or the 4th day of the 7th month. As for the 47-degree compass and the 90-degree right angle for the square, circles and squares, it's all geometry. Look at this. The word authority has gematria 47 and 137. 137 is the 33rd prime number. The big G can represent 33. The big G in the middle of 137 degrees, and right within our language, you know, there's this major relationship. Washington, D.C. equals 137 like authority. 137 is the 33rd prime number. It's the federal government's headquarters, Federal 33. You see? And just think about how important 33 is in the Bible with regards to Masonry. Bible, 33. Good book, 33. You know, you worship on Sunday with your Bibles. Who's the real son? You know, the Son of God? God's Son? Jehovah? And there's even more, Truth Seeker. I mean, we've covered them a number of times. There's so much 33 in the Bible. They say Jesus performed 33 miracles. Some people might call that magic, 33. You know, Noah's Ark. That's a pretty magical story. And more. But the point is, there's a reason for all of this, Truth Seeker. You know, we were talking about the Tropic of Cancer, the Tropic of Capricorn that mark the solstices. They are 47 degrees apart on the Earth. The Tropic of Cancer at 23.5 degrees north. The Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degrees south. When you write out 90 as a word, there's only 2 numbers when written out that sum to 33. One is 90. The other is 16. Well, I'll have to go through all the numbers now that we're aware of reverse. There might be some reverse numbers in 33, but in terms of these 2 formats, what I've taught about for all this time, 16 and 90 are it. 90 brings us back to 33 like the angle in the square. And I'll show you one more cool thing with regards to the compass. The compass is for making circles, right? Instrument in mathematics. Mathematics equals 112. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Circle in reverse ordinal is 112. And remember, this all comes back to pi. 360 equals 227. If you divide 22 by 7, you get the number for pi, 3.14. Tomorrow's March 14th, Pi Day. Show this to somebody tomorrow on Pi Day. You know, this part right here. If you write out 22 divided by 7, It equals 314, just like pi. You know? 3.14. 22 divided by 7 gives you pi. 360 equals 227. You see? And pi is all about cycles, circles, area, circumference. This is what the Freemasons have done. They have built the mathematics of the world into our English alphabet. The whole world runs on cycles and circles. So with regards to war, where we began, I want to bring this back to war, Christianity, Islam, the Crusades, what's going on at this current day and age. I mean, with regards to war, was the person who wrote this question in the beginning, I have to wonder, was this person not alive after September 11th? Because we had George W. Bush making a lot of remarks about Christianity and how we needed to go to war with radical Islam. You know, this whole post 9/11 agenda is very Christian based. And it's also very Zionist Jewish based. And again, the Zionist Jews use Christianity to wage their New World Order agenda, you know. So look at this. The Bible is credited with being published March 22nd, 1457. Season 4, Episode 7 on March 22nd of this show that's all about Christianity. Good book, the name for the Bible, 223. A lot like 22/3, the publishing date of the Bible. Most recognized publishing date. Masonic equals 223. The Synagogue of Satan equals 223, who's named in Revelation as being the false Jews who will rule in the end times. The writer of the 100 is Jewish, not by coincidence. The Zionists, the Kabbalists, they know the numerical language. In Revelation, where it says the Synagogue of Satan will rule in the end times, it's in a letter written to the Church of Philadelphia. Philadelphia, the Synagogue of Satan, matches. And in Revelation, it's Philadelphia that's written to. Philadelphia is the original capital of the U.S. nation. And real quick, I want to show you something about church and Philadelphia. Church, 101 in reverse. Philadelphia, 101 forwards. The Church of Philadelphia gets the letter about the Synagogue of Satan. Notice the 61 as well in Philadelphia. And church. Again, Philadelphia was established on a date with 135 numerology. The Key of David is also written about in regards to the Church of Philadelphia. Philadelphia, the city, established on a date with 135 numerology. The 216 is also interesting because 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. The more you look, the more there is. But real quick, Revelation 13:18, it says, "Here is wisdom." You know, this is the final book of the Bible. "Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast." That portion sums to 223. Who knows how to calculate? The Freemasons, the Zionists, the Kabbalists. And look, 223 are the numbers of the Freemasons and the Zionists. One more time for good measure, Bible and Good Book also have gematria of 33. When you write out 33, it sums to 66. The first published Bibles were called 42-line Bibles or Gutenberg Bibles. Gutenberg Bible 66. New Testament even has gematria of 66. Like number of the beast, like here is wisdom. The verse begins, here is wisdom. How to calculate the number of the beast. 66th book of the Bible. Here is wisdom also has the gematria connection to Freemason. Here is wisdom, it's Masonic wisdom. Gutenberg, Holy Bible. Here we are in the time of the 45th president, the Trumpets, where in Revelation, trumpets are the warning sign. The first Bible's published in 1457, Scottish Rite, Jews. So real quick, with regards to Freemasonry and it having Jewish origins, let's go to Hiram Abiff real quick. I wanted to show you something about him. Hiram Abiff, important to all people getting their 3rd degree in Freemasonry. Hiram Abiff, known as the widow's son, is the central character of an allegory presented to all candidates during the 3rd degree in Freemasonry. Here, Hiram is presented as the chief architect. Let me just show you guys. Architect, Freemason, building, you see? He's the chief architect of King Solomon's temple, who was murdered in the temple he designed by 3 ruffians during an unsuccessful attempt to force him to divulge the master mason's secret passwords. The themes of the allegory are the importance of fidelity and the certainty of death. So 3 men killed him. This is to get your 3rd degree in Freemasonry. Check this out. Hiram Abiff equals 62 like Mason, like Jesus of Nazareth. March 3rd, 3/3 is the 62nd day of the year. Think about Jesus on the cross at 33, Bible 33, March 3rd, the 62nd day of the year. I'll just show you Jesus of Nazareth real quick. Jesus of Nazareth, 62. The name Hiram Abiff in Chaldean also has gematria of 33, which is interesting. This is to get the 3rd degree. Freemasonry, obsessed with 33. Hiram Abiff also sums to 55 like Masonic Temple. 55 connected to numerology, Satan, God, and more. Very special number, the 10th Fibonacci number. When you count the numbers 1 through 10 and add them together, they sum to 55. I noticed that Masonic Temple also has gematria of 206, which is interesting because sometimes I think all of these numbers, they're rooted in this world, but I think in a way almost all of them come back to we as people, as human beings. Masonic Temple equals 206. There's 206 bones in our body. There's 33 vertebrae in our back. The word people's 33, the word person's 33, the word society's 33, order 33, destiny 33. 33 vertebrae, and I guess the magical way our vertebrae works, there's something about a 42-degree angle in our most important vertebrae. If you read about this, 42-degree angle, just like the angle to see a rainbow in the sky. Interesting that the word vertebrae has 42 in it. This number of Freemasonry. So check this out. He was working on Solomon's temple, Hiram Abiff, right? Solomon's temple, which is part of Jewish history. Solomon's temple equals 58, like Freemasonry, like secret society, like Annuit Coeptus. Again, Freemasonry, when you boil it down, is Jewish. Widow's son also has the gematria of 42, like architect. He was supposedly killed by ruffians. When you learn this language, it's not hard to see who wrote the Bible. And to deny what I'm showing you is to deny truth. I'm showing you right what it says in your own Bible. It teaches you to calculate these numbers. So just some more interesting gematria on the screen. To bring this back to the World Wars, World War I, World War II, they resulted in the carving up of the Middle East, creating new countries, new boundaries. Study World War I and the Berlin-Baghdad Railroad, big motivation for the war, controlling territory, controlling resources. At the end of World War II, there was something called the Arab League that was formed on March 22nd, familiar date, 1945, 322. That was a date with 89 numerology, religion equals 89, King James as in the King James Bible, Cairo equals 89 where the Arab League was formed. This is formed in biblical territory. You know, these are the biblical nations here. And the world wars and the ongoing wars, you know, they're so focused in the biblical region. Never ending. Same story throughout history. I think it largely comes back to these people being insane and ritualistic, and this is the only way they know how to control the masses. And you got to give it to them because they're the ones controlling the masses. So this is the formula that works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But the Arab League, end of the world wars, another March 22nd. Again, these are just all signs of the New World Order. Freemasonry has crossed all religions. Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, everything mainstream is touched by Freemasonry. One last interesting point. Look at this gematria connection. Speaking of New World Order. Catholic Church, England, United States of America, they all share gematria of 132. 132 rooms at the White House, which is in the territory that was once known as the Catholic Colony. At the beginning of the country, the Catholic Church ruled that area. Maryland. You know, have you ever noticed that Washington, D.C. is between Maryland and Virginia? Virgin Mary? It's not a coincidence. It's because this whole nation is a biblical retelling. Notice there's also 147 windows at the White House. Well, we know about that number. Here is Wisdom 147, Freemason 147, President of the United States. I noticed the word window also sums to 74, like Masonic, like George Washington, the president's named after. Again, just for good measure, George Washington has gematria of 187. Notice also the 88. George Washington, the area is named Washington, D.C. in his honor, 187. And 137, the 33rd prime. But 187, this year Trump had his GOP convention in Cleveland on July 18th, 18/7, 187 days before Inauguration Day. Trump has the 88 connection like George Washington as well. And the last Republican president was George W. Bush, born on the 187th day of the year, July 6th. Notice Trump also has the 47 connection like president, like Republican, like authority, even like Democrat, which is only fitting because the Republicans and Democrats, different rhetoric, same type of governorship, you know? So, another long video. They keep turning out longer than I want them to be. But I want to make sure people got this information, you know? How could a Christian ask what wars have ever been created by Christianity? There's just so many. And we only touched on a few of them. But now Dex should know. Until next time, Truth Seeker.